Good evening. I am Megadoom and welcome to the Oil Age this last day of June 2011. Today we covered some interesting developments. Chinese trade deals, continued Greek riots, a nuclear waste disposal, and various other stories that paint a disturbing picture of the current state of the world. So what is China doing in Europe? Not since 1972 has such a high-ranking meeting taken place. The premier was in Germany today, hashing out trade deals that will expand their markets to higher levels, like doubling trade in only 5 years. You can bet, though, their presence goes much deeper than trade deals. China is worried the European Union will falter, and Germany would have to go back to the drachma, situation that would be awful for trading purposes. Hence their increase in European debt holdings. Good luck with that when oil production is set to drop going into 2012 and beyond. Still, considering the Greek crisis and the pending U.S. sodomy session come August 2nd, the day our debt clock starts sending off alarm bells, I'm quite sure our politicians will be putting on a very dramatic show of right-wing, left-wing politics as the U.S. plays hot potato with a deficit spending. I heard Bubba, that is Bill Clinton, came up with a plan to raise the debt ceiling and promised to cut spending when the economy improves. See what happens when you smoke pot, kids? No, seriously. Some of the ideas being floated around by capitalists is like watching someone climb the grease poles on Bourbon Street during Mardi Gras. They just look stupid, because it is stupid. So anyway, good luck with that, China. Moving along, a new member showed up on the forum today, and one of the first things he did was blame the Greeks, the citizens that is, for their debt problems, and using the analogy of taking a candy away from a baby. Others point to the pensions, tax corruption, retirement ages, and other social pegs unique to Greece, and seek to lay blame on the worker who retired too soon. But who did the bailout? It sure wasn't Greece. It was bondholders and investors in Greek debt. And what happened in 2008 that killed Greek prosperity? You guessed it. Big banks and their lying CDS deals, their false derivatives and massive leveraging. And what does the world do? They reward the banking cartel, of course, and stick it to the average hard-working people, like they've always done. Not going to work, though. Even Greenspan agrees. Greece is going to default no matter what, like us and the whole global capital system. Too much leverage, too much debt, too much interest, and not enough resources to make economies thrive and grow. Then this member went on to criticize the Greek people for being wimps at demonstrating. I find that the same people who criticize protests and riots have in fact never participated in one. Well, let me tell you, it's hard, it's wild, it's confusing, it's loud, and most importantly requires a great deal of bravery. Every action you do can put you in prison for a very long time, like killing a cop, for instance. You never know how many of your co-riders will stand beside you as you rush the stormtroopers protected behind their shields. If you've never been tear gassed, you don't know how difficult it is to fight in it without a mask and protective clothing. I do. One of the things they do to new recruits in boot camp is to stick them in a gas chamber and make them breathe tear gas for a few minutes while the drill sergeant watches you squirm. I can remember the experience quite well. We were lined up, one behind each other with our gas masks on and sealed as we came in 2 by 2 to stand in front of the drill sergeant, who was ready to release more gas with every 2 soldiers. The chamber was potently brewed in a cloud of gas. Your NCO tells you to take off the mask and take a deep breath. We reluctantly do, of course. I can still remember my first thoughts that came racing like a wild, primitive warning. This is going to be bad. Imagine inhaling 100 bees and allowing them to sting the inside of your lungs, while your airway becomes rapidly choked in mucus and foot-long snot hangs by your left nostril. Your stomach turns and turns, making you gag. Your skin stings and burns as though you just got exposed to a submarine's nuclear core, and the life-sustaining air seems terribly absent. The NCO asks a few questions for which we must answer in order that we inhale the gas. Things like Social Security, our rank, and so on. I remember gagging on the answers in wild desperation to attain the exit door that would take me outside. Air was never more precious upon finding that door and opening it to Kentucky sunshine. It was Fort Knox, the winter of 1990. So let me tell you something. A rag over the nose isn't going to keep you protected. The stuff practically makes you run away. It's why they use it. Hypocrites. I tell you, they roam the internet. The fires in New Mexico appear to have spared Los Alamos, thank God, but then there are those that disagree. I don't know. Never been there. One thing is for sure, we have too much nuclear waste dangerously out and about scattered across this country, nay, the world. Some of it in protected devices called pigs, or in caskets, and some of it even stored under what essentially amounts to a tent. None of which can last the 20-something thousand years as shit remains lethal. We keep making it, though. Someone posted a great map of every nuclear power plant in the U.S. with a 100-mile critical zone. I'm in one. Super. So much for my Honey Island swamp bug out. I can just imagine the future world when all these reactors go into meltdown because of the collapse in civilization, whether due to climate change, a mega disaster, or the peak oil earthquake. All of it guaranteed in the nuclear time frame. Stick it all in Yucca Mountain, they say. Well, okay. But even a titanium encapsulation won't keep it from poisoning the groundwater after thousands of years. Seriously, though, I doubt most people would even care what the world will be like in a few thousand years from now. It's all about their lives. The future be damned. Total disconnect from this gorgeous planet that literally provides for every need. Yet it's treated like an inanimate pile of garbage by this oil age man. Then there's a drought that just won't quit inflicting Texas to Alabama. Around here, when it does rain, the ground is so parched that within a minute or two, you would be hard-pressed to tell that it rained or not. Hope you know food needs water. I saw 4 tomatoes at the local grocery store this evening that were priced at $8. Glad I have a bunch from the garden to make my tacos. Of course, I have to hit it with my sprinkler every single day while watching the birds, rats, snakes, and toads muddling in seeking respite from the dust of the fields. The signs of the end are upon us. Cheerio and good evening.